can't be the only one, right? Sat at home, bored out of my mind, fantasizing about driving fast cars, and specifically supercars. Now, I know that for most of us, driving a supercar is only ever going to be that, a daydream. But let's not forget the magic word, depreciation. I've been having a look on Auto Trader, and there are some incredible bargains to be had. Cars that would normally cost in excess of £100,000, you can now pick up for 50 grand or way less. So if you scrimp and you save and you sell a couple of kidneys and a spleen, a heart maybe, then who knows, one day you might actually be able to afford one of these things. And today I want to show you a few of my favorites. And of course, look, if you ain't got the money, sometimes it's just nice to dream. The first car on my list is the Mercedes-AMG GT. Now, there are several versions of this, the cheapest of which is the standard GT. This has got 476 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, 189 mile an hour top speed. If you want to get into one of these brand new, you're looking at £100,000 easily. They even do a pro version with about 585 horsepower for £200,000. But check this out, on the used market, they're going a hell of a lot cheaper. Right, I've had a little look around Auto Trader, and it's actually quite shocking how cheap these are going right now. The cheapest one, all right, let me sort these by lowest price first, is $49,995. This one's a Cat N, which means that it's obviously been in some sort of incident. I'll take a closer look and find out what that is. Okay, this one was previously stolen and then recovered, but it's got a full service history, no structural damage to it. The next one up is 54,950, again a Cat N. This one apparently has had a brand new engine fitted to it. But if you don't want to go the Cat N route, you can actually find one of these for 57,989. And again, this looks stunning in the white with the black wheels, full service history, sat nav, 22-inch alloys, looks absolutely amazing. And this one's actually being sold by a dealership, which means you can get it on PCP. So in this case, it's £1,000 deposit, and then for 48 months you pay £1,048. Absolutely outrageous. Wow. The next car on my list is an even crazier bargain. It's the BMW i8. Now, I ran one of these cars for around 6 months a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I know a lot of you probably won't think about this as being a supercar, but this list for me is more about cars that I think are super. Cars that when you see them on the street, you do a double take, you fantasize about owning them because they look or they feel exotic in some way, or they offer amazing performance. And the i8, for me, definitely deserves a place on this list. Okay, once again, I'm going to sort by price, and the cheapest one is $35,995. Lovely blue color. Quite high mileage on that one though, 74,000 miles. Still a good price though, and from a dealership. Next one is 38.5. This one's got considerably lower miles, 41,000 miles on it from a private seller. And then 38,600. This is from a dealership. Good car, good looking car. Dihedral doors. Look at the back end of this car. Absolutely beautiful. Depreciation has been savage on the i8, but right now, that works in your favor. The next car I want to show you is definitely, again, bucket list material. It's the Bentley Continental GT. If you want to get into one of these brand new, you're looking at £150,000 easily. A lot of money, but I can kind of see why. Handmade, British luxury, super fast. However, on the used market, they are hilariously cheap. Okay, right, sort by lowest price, and the cheapest on the site is 13,749. 13 grand for a Conti. That's basically Ford Fiesta money, right? Imagine pulling up in a brand new Ford Fiesta versus pulling up in this thing. Silver, black alloys, looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? Okay, let's look at some slightly newer cars, closer to the budget. They did a pretty significant model year update in 2015. You can recognize these ones from the front bumper. So if you get in one of these, then you're basically going to look like you're driving a brand new Bentley Continental GT. But these ones here are like 60K. So let me take that back to 2014, which is the year of the previous update, which had better equipment and better technology. Yeah, look at this. You're looking at £45,000. I'm a sucker for a white car. This looks great, doesn't it? Really, really cool. Kind of want a Bentley now. Okay, it's a private seller, so let's find some dealerships selling. Here we go, 49,995. Looks really cool. Also, if you're a little bit confused about whether it's a decent price to be paying for the car, then Auto Trader have got this price indicator which shows you whether it's a fair price, a good price, or a high price, and all these vary depending on various factors like the mileage, the amount of equipment on the car, and this gives you a good sense of whether the car is worth spending the money on. I want that. Now, if you're a petrol head, then I'm sure you will have fantasized at some stage about owning a Ferrari. I know I have. And the next car I want to show you is a Ferrari. And I know it doesn't quite fit into the 50k budget, but this is all about daydreaming, and I want to show it to you anyway. It's the Ferrari 458 Italia. If you want to buy one of these brand new, you're looking at around 160, 170,000 pounds. But check this out. On the used market, the situation's a little bit different. Now, I am getting a bit sidetracked here, and I'm not, by the way, suggesting for a minute that any of us have got 86 grand burning a hole in your pocket. But if you did have 86 grand burning a hole in your pocket, look what you could, oh my God! But if you did have 86 grand burning a hole in your pocket, look what you could get. This is a stunning looking Ferrari 458 Italia in yellow with black alloys. It looks absolutely sensational, doesn't it? Look at it. 4.5 litre. Oh my God. Now, when a car's this cheap, you kind of got to ask yourself why that is. And in the description, it kind of gives you a clue. This one's had a full engine rebuild in 2019, February 2019. But it's had a full service history. Something to think about, something to think about. Right, let's get back on track and work within our budget now. Ferraris, let's see what we got. I'm going to sort by lowest price. Look at this. Ferrari F430 for 19.5 grand. It's a replica. Right. What was this? What was this? This used to be, oh, it used to be a Toyota MR2. It actually doesn't look too bad, does it? You can kind of tell that the proportions aren't quite right. Okay, then we got the 456s, then we got 348. That wasn't Ferrari's best ever work, but look at it. It looks like a baby Testarossa. Very cool. All right, enough of that. I want to look at the F430 because I reckon this is going to be 50k. Yup, there we go. A black F430 4.3 F1 two-door. Let's load that up. Oh yeah, you can tell straight away this is the real deal, no replica. It's done 76,000 miles, which is above average. It's like a hell of a lot above average, which is probably going to explain the price. Okay, this one's been imported, so that's the left-hand drive, left hooker from Qatar. Look at the guts, red interior. Pretty sweet that, pretty sweet. Now, the Nissan GTR has always been regarded as the way to get supercar performance for sports car money, so of course it's got to be on my list. Brand new, they're going for around £84,000, but on the used market, the situation is very different. You can pick up a GTR now for well under £50,000. Okay, let's sort by lowest price once again. Cheapest is 27,990 for a GTR Black Edition, 479 horsepower. Yeah, that's one that I would in a heartbeat recommend people buy because it's so much car for the money. 27k. Okay, the mileage is quite high. It's 87,000 miles, and you just know it's been beaten up, don't you? It's been, yeah, that's had a hard 87,000 miles. You don't cruise around in a GTR for 87,000 miles without giving it some abuse. So let's find something else with a few less miles on it. This one's got 58,000. It's 29,950. Again, finished in black. This one's running 700 brake horsepower. So whoever had this has obviously tinkered with it ever so slightly. I mean, that's going to come with pros and cons, isn't it? It's going to be ludicrously fast. How reliable is it? Don't know. But 30 grand for a 700 horsepower GTR. The standard car could do 0 to 62 in like 3 and a bit seconds, for God's sake. Damn near 190 miles an hour. What's this going to do? The other thing is that these cars haven't really changed much over the years. The chassis, the body, the engine, it's largely the same apart from a few minor updates along the way that most people won't actually recognize when they look at the car. So if you get a car that's, you know, a few years old. It's basically going to look new. So yeah, GTR. All right, no supercar list is going to be complete without an Audi R8 on it. So of course it makes my list. This has always been regarded as the perfect, usable, everyday supercar. But nowadays they're going for big bucks. They don't do the cheapo V8 version anymore. They only do V10s. So the entry-level car is now selling for around £120,000. If you want the V10 Performance, that's £144,000, or the V10 Performance Carbon Black is 155 grand. But on Auto Trader, on the used market, the prices are a little bit more affordable. And straight off the bat, I've found some pretty hilarious bargains here. 28.5 grand. That was a Cat D, so repaired in 2016. Let's move on to a non-Cat D car. 29,750 for the V8. Look, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. It's so tempting, isn't it? This one is flagged up as low price on the price indicator. Let's load it up. Finished in a pretty beautiful Mugello blue. Look at this. Let's just scroll through some pictures and enjoy this. Do you know what? That interior is nice as well, isn't it? Ah, stunning. What's this car's problem? Come on. Must have something wrong with it. Not really. If anything, it seems like they've actually done quite a lot of work to it. It's had a front frame strengthening, the mag ride shock replacement. They've done quite a lot of work to this one. It's got a 75 horsepower gain thanks to a remap stage 3. Yeah, very cool. And only 60,000 miles as well. So again, another tempting proposition. Do you know what? Let's look at the Spider. I'm going to go down here to body type. Oh, yes, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I'm a sucker for a convertible and a sucker for a convertible Audi R8. I used to love the side blades on the coupe, but I don't mind the lack of side blades on the Spider. Look at this. 39,990. Ah, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? That looks basically it doesn't really look like it's aged that much. It's a stunning looking car. Next car on my list is the Porsche 911, very popular car, and if you put this into your search terms, then you're gonna have probably a million cars pop up. In fact, let's have a look how many show up. Right, Porsche 911, and there are 1,935 cars on Auto Trader, which is probably more than all of the other Porsches put together. Now there's a lot of Cayennes as well, 1,200. Right, let's go straight into 911 and see what we can find. Lowest price, 8,995, which is a 1999 V-Reg. But we don't want that. We want to work within our budget, which is 50K. More specifically, we're looking for a specific year. I want the 991 series, which ran from 2012 to 2019. So we go to 2012, and immediately that's what we're talking about. Right, 991s. This one's 37,995. It's a low price on the price indicator. Let's jump in and take a look at this. She's a beaut as well. She's an absolute beaut. Look at that. Black rims. Almost murdered out. Only problem is that it's slightly high mileage. So let me back up out of that and try and find something with a few less miles on the clock. People drive 911s a hell of a lot, don't they? There's a lot of high mileage cars on here. I love a white car. I'm a sucker for a white car. I'm a sucker for a black car. I'm a sucker for any car. For 41,500, that's pretty decent. That's really good value. I like that. I can't help but think that Porsche 911s are a little bit common. Like I said, there's like 2,000 of the things on Auto Trader. Do we want to go a little bit more rare and exclusive? Yeah, I think we do. Right, the next car on my list is a personal favorite of mine. It means a lot to me. It's the Chevrolet Corvette C3. I used to have posters upon posters of this car on my wall when I was a kid, specifically the C3 made in the late 60s and early 70s, because these were affordable, they were fast, and they looked great. But even more than that, I loved them because these were the cars that NASA astronauts used to drive, and I wanted to be an astronaut, so I figured this was the closest I could come. Today, I'm not going to look at the C3 though. I want to get a little bit more modern and show you something a little bit different. Check this out. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is a C7. It's a 2015, 15,000 miles on the clock. This was around the time when Chevy Corvettes went a little bit sort of Lamborghini-esque with sharp edges. It just looks super menacing. Really aggressive looking car. And even in grey, Grey cars can look a bit boring, but even in grey, the Corvette looks like an absolute nutcase. And to me, Corvettes give you so much value and so much performance. Really, really cool car. Obviously, this has been imported. They don't build Corvettes over here. They never did a right-hand drive, so everything's left-hand drive. This one came from Chevrolet in Tennessee, but it's had its service records. And obviously, driving this car in the UK is going to be a bit problematic because it's a left hooker, so pulling out a junction is going to be a bit tricky, especially with a super, super long bonnet like this. But in terms of looking different, in terms of having something that stands out, something exotic, even though it's American, then you can't really go wrong with a Chevy Corvette C7. So those are my top picks for supercars under £50,000. I know that sounds like an awful lot of money right now, especially in today's climate, but we can dream. And while we're dreaming, some of those cars do feel like they're almost within reach, don't they? Think about it, there's people out there who's spending £50,000 on a brand new Mercedes GLE SUV when you could drop the same cash on a Ferrari F430. Come on, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Okay, you couldn't drive the Ferrari every day and you probably couldn't do the school run in it either, although that might actually be a good thing. As always, thanks for watching. Please do hit subscribe. Let me know what your picks would be in the comments below, and we'll see you again on the next video very soon. Peace.